Okay, so going to start this all over and try to make some kind of decent guide to how to start from scratch. Okay, that didn't clear the stats, but alright. Start in open play. We're going to assume that you already know how you've set up your keyboard, mouse, joystick, whatever interface you're using. Trying to learn someone else's setup is a bit annoying. Also, banter is clearly not my strong point. Same can be said for having a microphone that isn't extremely hissy. Right, so we start with the Sidewinder and 1000 credits. It doesn't reset the kills apparently when you reset, but that's alright. So first we need to figure out this, rotate the... You have to enter on the side that rotates counterclockwise. Disabling flight assist allows you to maintain a top speed. Your thrusters aren't going to counter it. Bulb shields to maximum and engines to 2, and notice that the entrance port has 2 colors. It's green on currently the left side and red on what is currently the right hand side. Since space doesn't really have up or down or left or right now, obviously red is on the left hand side. All you can do is indicate a side to enter through, and you need to go through on the green side. That's the idea, at least, because when we enter, and I'll show you here, you'll find that around. That the side we just came through is now red because it's green on the other side. You can actually see it. You can see the green. You can see the red lights on the outside and the green lights on the inside here. So. We have 2 types of guides or indicators or whatever you want to call them. We have the down here in the main section. You have the large radar, which is 3D, and then you have this circular 2D thingy, crosshairs. When the yellow indicator is solid, it is something that is in front of you, and the closer it gets to the center, in this case it is pointing at the docking port, landing pad, and if it gets hollow, it is behind you. This becomes a very handy indicator when you're trying to get somewhere, especially outside, because this allows you to find where your orientation relative to whatever you're targeting. As you can see right now, it becomes 2 brackets in yellow instead of being whole. Let's see. It was landing pad 6. There we go. Figuring out how to use your lateral and vertical thrusters is also quite handy. And some of the paths are bugged, meaning you have to point the wrong way around. Usually you have to face the building. This one is bugged, and the ship, the hologram we can see down here, is supposed to point forward, meaning you can see its rear sides. When we start here in Asaban City, we don't really have much money and we don't have a lot of range. So the best thing we can do to start with is make money. We can do this in a couple of ways. We can do it by taking missions, we can do it by trading, or we can do it by fighting. There's a fourth way which I'm going to do here in the beginning, which is picking up and selling stuff that people have dropped off. Typically it's supposed to be from pirate attacks, so you simply fly out to somewhere that is particularly prone to pirate attacks, and then pick up whatever loot they left behind and fly somewhere to sell it. The nearest system that does this is LP 98-132. That's an anarchist system, and it doesn't really have anything in it other than some place to fight and some place to sell stuff. Now, since I've locked on to LP 98, it actually shows me in the 2D crosshairs that it's behind the station on the left, which means that we need to turn around to face it and then target it before we can enter into hyperspace. Don't crash into the station. We can't jump into hyperspace as long as we're mass locked. You can see that in the right hand corner over here, in next to the fuel. You also can't do it if you have anything deployed. That can be landing gear, it can be cargo scoop, and it can be your weapons. If those are deployed, you can't make a jump. And if you're in a situation where you have one of those deployed and you try, it will tell you quite simply that it's cancelled. Like I said, to start with, I'm going to be playing as basically a looter, just going to find whatever remnants other people have left behind. What I'm doing here is turning away from the sun. I'm trying to get the sun behind me, or the star behind me, because otherwise I'll be thrown out of hyperspace because I get too close. We want to get to Freeport. We could go to the navigation beacon and try to be a pirate, but I'm not very skilled at combat, so I don't really see the point in trying. What we're looking for when we're traveling here are unidentified signal sources. They will show up as small circles. Kind of like the planets, but without anything around them. Don't worry about overshooting when you do this. Nothing bad happens, you just have to come around and target it again. And here we have an unidentified signal source. So, we need to get within 1,000 kilometers of it and drop out. And for reference, 0.1 light second is 30,000 kilometers, and our speed indicator is in kilometers per second, unless it's fast enough that it becomes fractions of the speed of light. To drop out, we also need to be below 1,000 kilometers per second. Basically, if you keep your speed indicator in the blue area, you shouldn't have a problem. It says safe disengage ready, hit your hyperspace button, and you will drop into here. These white things on the radar, those are cargo. Someone left this. It could be the remains of a pirate attack, or it can be a trap. You don't really know, because if it's a trap, then whoever did it, they'll be waiting for you and they will be hiding. So this happened to be gold, which is extremely nice. Let's see, it's a kilometer away. So this, we need to deploy cargo scoop, and then the indicator on the left hand side over here gives us a target from the cargo scoop. The cargo scoop is on the underside of the ship, which means that you can't really see it once you get close enough, because you end up flying above this thing. As you can see right now, I turned on the lights to get a better view of it. You don't have to. Turning on the lights just makes you more visible. But, okay, one. And there are more of them. Let's find the next one. Here. You can only target them if they're right in front of you, or if you go into contacts on your panels. To pick them up, you need to do it at a decent pace, not too fast. And since we're in a tiny ship, we can only fit 4. These will be registered as stolen cargo. That means they need to be sold in a place that has a black market. You don't sell them on the regular market. And not all stations have a black market. The one here in Freeport does. If you enter a non-anarchist system, they tend to frown upon stealing stuff, and when that happens, you don't want to be subjected to a scan. But now we need to get back to, we need to get to Freeport and sell this stuff. I should point out that you're not always going to get gold when you do this. It can be anything really. It can be really crappy and it can be really good. Gold is pretty much the, well, gold standard. It is, quite frankly, the best item to pick up. What I'm trying to do here is get between Anahit, the planet, and Freeport, which is the station. If you get between them properly, you're much more likely to be facing the entrance of the space station rather than having to fly around it to find the entrance. It's not always easy to do though.